Today's parents shy away from letting their children do messy play to sometimes the detriment of their children. This morning we speak to our creative parenting expert, Nikki, about messy play and why it's so important for a child's development. Nikki, so good to have you on the show.
Thanks, Leanne.
Okay, so the last time you were here, we talked about play and how important it is for a child's development. But what exactly is messy play and how is it different from normal play?
So messy play is a different form of play where we use substances like mud and water and things like Play-Doh and flour and paint and crayons and things that generally are messy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the major reasons why parents shy away from it, because we have this perfection addiction. We're living in smaller spaces, we like things to be neat and tidy, and so we leave this kind of thing for playgroup, play school, primary school. They can do this there where it can be cleaned up by somebody else, and we won't do that kind of stuff here. We don't even cook with our children. And cooking often involves messy play.
Yeah.
So think of anything that requires, baking dough, mixing milk and mixing water and mixing flour. All that stuff can get a little bit messy. And we need to be invitational and invite our children in to the kitchen to do those things with us because they love it. And look how much you and I are just busy fiddling.
Like having a ball of a time here.
And some of the benefits for messy play are things like they calm us down.
True.
You see, the skin is the biggest sensory organ of the body. And when we're doing stuff with our hands, when we're manipulating stuff, we're actually sending lots of messages to the brain through the muscles and the joints.
Yeah.
And that is calming the whole sensory system. And if you think about how busy children are today, this is a wonderful way for them to step down the energy a little bit. Like just before homework, when you come home from school, here's an idea. Why don't you do messy play with your children for 5 or 10 minutes before they hit the books?
Yeah. Because I'm listening to you, I'm playing with this dough, I'm listening to you, but you would think that it would be impossible to multitask, but I'm taking in what you're saying so much better because I'm actually calm. I'm relaxed. I feel like my creative brain is what's flourishing right now.
And you're using an extra sense.
Yeah.
And the more senses we use when we're trying to learn, the more we remember.
Yeah. Why would parents not allow their children to do this? I know you mentioned that they would rather let them do it at school. Is it because we're trying to keep the house tidier?
So the house tidy, number one, and the time it takes to tidy up and clean up afterwards. So time is the enemy here.
Yeah.
We think we don't have the time for this. And maybe we don't have the space, or we haven't dedicated a space in the house where kids can paint and colour in and do stuff like this without it impacting on the rest of the home.
Tell me again, what are those developmental advantages again of allowing your child to do messy play?
So when you are playing with these kinds of things like dough and paint, there's creativity involved. Yeah. And children spend a lot of time being told what to do and how to do it. Yeah. When you give them this kind of substance where they have a very concrete experience of the world, they get to use their own ideas. It's free play often, where they can actually let their brain come out and play, whether it's on a page with paint or whether it's on a surface with things like Play-Doh or even this, look at this kinetic sand.
Gorgeous.
That is also super, super sensory, acts like Play-Doh, never ever dries out.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. So different textures also are important. It's important that children are allowed to work with smooth things, rough things, tough things, all sorts of things so that they learn about the world around them.
Oh, Nikki, I'm having such a fun time talking to you about this, but we are going to take a little bit of a break. Stay tuned. Nikki is going to be back with us a little bit later on as we further unpack the benefits of messy play.